All right, so here we are. We're playing quarter 50 on Clubs Poker. This is a cash game, of course, and this is just one hand that I played, Grant. I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to tell you it went pretty well. And it may look kind of cool.
Oh, now our YouTube analytics. Cool. Our YouTube analytics are going to be like, drop off right there. He said it went well. That's the end. I don't care.
I mean, maybe it's a bad thing to do. I don't know. But here we are anyway. Let's see. So I'm going to show you this hand. Here we go. Maybe you'll disagree. Maybe you won't think I played it well. I think I played it pretty well, though.
You must think you're so cool choosing that avatar, that like cool business guy avatar.
It's just the one they gave me, man.
I chose the big fat guy because it's all self-deprecating and fun.
It's always fun when there's like several of your avatar at the same table with you. And I always think like, does it look like we're colluding? Always a worry of mine. Anyway, there's a min raise.
Of course it doesn't look like you're colluding. What a silly thing.
I know it doesn't. But it's funny to ask. I'm just going for the comedy, bro.
Yeah, that's you.
Get this out of the way here. So here we are. Min open, call. We're in the big blind with 7-9 off.
I think you should call, and I think you should then move the scrubber again somewhere new. I think
because one of the last ones we did it, the scrubber kept getting in the way, so I'm trying to keep it out of the way. I will not move it again, I promise. I call, and we flop. Oh, my God.
Okay.
What a flop. It's 7. Let me tell everyone who's just listening to this. So we have 7-9 offsuit in the big blind.
Good
Early
point.
Position opens. The cutoff calls, we call. 7-7-8 with 2 hearts. Oh, my God, we flop trips. How is it possible?
Yeah, and the effective stack is over 100 bigs. You block straight draws with a 9. I think leading is fine here. I'm kind of interested in leading. I don't know if you need to, but this is the type of board that hits you pretty well, and you're going to want to lead with some combo draw type hands, maybe some weak gut shots if you want to sort of rep. Obviously, check raising is a good avenue for those as well. So I think leading and check raising are viable. I don't think check calling is necessarily a good idea here.
I think on this what a board, I really like being aggressive on the flop for sure, either as a lead or as a check raise. And I am going to lean into check raise more than leading for a few reasons. One, I do believe the early position player is going to bet this a lot, this particular board. And two, as the big blind, I want to have a lot of check raises when the board is paired and the cards are small. And so, as bluffs or for value. And so this gets to fit into my value part of that play instead of never having it. So with both those things in mind, I decide I want to go for a check raise here. But I don't hate a lead by any means. So I check.
It's just often a board. It's often a board that obviously they bet, but they bet there as for the listeners. But that the early position raiser is going to check a lot of their range if they're competent on this board a lot of the time.
I mean, I feel like mostly people just bet these boards a lot.
Yeah, I mean, at 25-50 on clubs, that's certainly the way it goes. Yeah. And it's the way it went here.
Right. Now, it doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but I feel like this just gets stabbed a lot. So I decided to give them a chance to do it. So the guy bets 2.44 into 3.25, 244 into 325. And our cutoff player decides to, I actually don't remember, they fold, and it's time to check raise for sure. Any thoughts on how much we want to check raise?
You're a lazy check raiser. You just pick the 75% button and go.
Well, I saw how much it was and decided it was okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will often change it.
Yeah, 8.5 over 2.4 into 3.25. I think is good. I think it's good. I think you're gonna.
So that's what I do. Yeah.
You can get it in against a flush draw sometimes. Sometimes a flush draw is just going to go with it right here, and that's a good equity spot for you, and you'll accept that, and you'll say no when they ask to run it twice, and that'll be great, and you hope to win.
That's right. Once in a while, I get it in much better than that too. Once in a while, someone has an overpair here, and they see how wet the board is. Yeah. And they even think like, are you really check raising your trip sevens? Come on, man. Like you got draws all day here, which I would have a bunch of draws here for sure. Yeah. And they would want to punish me with their overpair. Some players will do that. So we can get it in real good against something like that too once in a while. That is not what happens here. Our opponent calls. Come play with us on Clubs Poker. They have tournaments, they have ring games, and a 100% bonus if you use the code POKERGUYS or use our link in the description.
It is a lot of fun on clubs. I have been playing on clubs, and I have been genuinely impressed by their software. They have great games all the time, and redemptions go direct to your bank account. There's no crypto involved, none of that BS. It's a US-based company. Come play with us on clubs. We'll see you there. All right, let's pause the tape.
Yep.
So
there's $20 there's 20 sweeps coins, in the pot. The effective stack is our opponent with 45.5.
Yep.
And the turn is the Jack of Diamonds.
We just got the Jack, so 9-10 gets there. We do block
Yes.
that. We're obviously putting them on an overpair most of the time. That seems like the most likely holding. Hearts are possible. Not everybody's going to put in a 3-bet with hearts. It's totally reasonable to flat hearts. So it's like a good combo of hearts, like ace wheel plus, depending on the competence of the player, I guess. Sometimes you see players opening with really bad stuff in early position. But
yeah.
the Jack is a slight scare card because it's an overcard and it could be Jack's full now, and 9-10 gets there.
Yep.
But I think we just want to keep repping missed hearts. It is unfortunate for us that 9-10 gets there for multiple reasons, obviously, and overpair might get a little more scared. Now they're like, oh, one more thing that beats me now. A little scary. So...
we have a lot of hearts. We have a lot of 5-6. It's the only one draw comes in, at least. It's not the Jack of Hearts. That's good, at least.
So our plan is to try to get it all in on non-scary runouts. So
sure.
How do we most effectively do that against an overpair? I don't think we're going to get value if a heart comes. So do we want to put a decent chunk of the value in now in case a scary card comes? Or do we want to make it so that it's more of like the common, like keep them alive, but make it like a 66% pot bet on the river type thing? How do we want to do it?
I was thinking of slightly different questions that I was trying to answer in this spot. My main question was, with 9-10 coming in, I wanted to not scare off the overpairs too much. And also I was aware that my opponent really can have 9-10. We're both sort of uncapped in that way, at least to that level of it, right? I mean, they could, of course, have Jack-Jack also, but 9-10 feels like more of a danger than Jack-Jack, honestly, just combo-wise, even though I have a 9 in my hand. So my inclination was to bet smaller to keep like a hand like Queens from getting queasy about it. Like if I go too big, they may be like, gosh, I'm losing to 9-10. I'm still losing to trip 7s. I'm losing to pocket 8s. There's just a lot I'm losing to here. I'm beating hearts, but that's it. So I wanted to keep it. So my thought was to bet small to keep a lot more of that range in. And even if I bet small, we should have less than a 1-to-1 stack to pot ratio. If I bet a third of the pot, which is about what I end up betting, to be clear, I think I bet $7 here, and our opponent calls, there's going to be 34 in there. Our opponent's going to have 38. So it's about 1-to-1.
Yeah.
And we can get it in any way on the river.
Yeah, it works against overpairs sometimes. You lose value when the heart comes in, I think.
That is true. That is the one real concern, is losing value when the heart comes. If I just worry about betting big and losing all the value, like
did you consider a check raise?
Ooh, I did not consider a check raise at all, actually. That is interesting. I didn't even consider it.
I like to find spots where I can apply check raises a little bit, probably too frequently. It's kind of like a little fun thing I like to do. But, if I had something like, I don't know, let's say ace 10 of hearts, I feel like check raising is the play. I think you generate the most fold equity that way. And if we're trying to achieve some level of balance, we also have to sometimes have it already. So this would be a good way to balance that.
Good point. It didn't even occur to me. I like your thoughts. I end up betting. I think I did bet 7. Let's see. I put in the half. I clicked the half button, but I scale it down to 7. I bet 7. Our opponent does not fold, and in fact, clicks it back to 14.
Weird spot.
Super weird. Yep.
Okay. It just feels like folding is ridiculous when we block 9-10 and Jack-Jack is 3 combos.
Yep.
So I think we just have to ask if we want to shove to capture maximum value and charge the flush draws the maximum, or call. Like if we call and they have an overpair, I think this is kind of the free showdown play where they're going to check back on the river.
Agreed.
So I fear that. So I think shoving is a better play because we charge the maximum to hearts, and an overpair will consider calling at least, where we're just giving them a free showdown if we call.
Do we really think an overpair is clicking back here? Like,
I think it's
such
potentially
it's
free
such a
showdown
bad
play. I
Yeah,
know it's a
the
bad
thing is
play.
you-
You're on Clubs Poker playing quarter 50. Like, what are you talking
Be
about?
nice. Be nice. I think it would be a bad play to do with an overpair specifically. I think an overpair should be more interested in calling or raising more, right? Like if the overpair is trying to charge hearts, for example, they should be raising more. Either they just call or put it in, basically. I agree. This does look like a free showdown play, and that sort of sucks.
If they have
What?
jacks full, you're just giving them your money anyway. If they have 9-10, you still have some equity.
Yeah.
And if they have an overpair, they're never betting again. And if they have hearts,
That's
they
true.
get just to see the river for what they put in instead of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think shoving is a better play.
Interesting. I guess that's pretty logical, I have to say. That is not what I did. I wish I did it now that we're talking about it. Maybe I didn't play this hand well. God
Oh,
darn it.
good.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so I decide to call instead. Not really loving my spot because actually I feel like it looks like 9-10. Like Jack, sure, but 9-10 is right there, right? I guess there's 3 combos of jacks, there's 3 combos of 9-10 suited. So maybe it's the same, but
Yeah.
I feel like I am losing some percentage of the time here, and I don't love it.
Well, sure
So
you are.
I take it. Now, the river is the jack of clubs, so the board is 7-7-8, jack with 2 hearts on the flop. We, of course, have 7-9 off. There's $48, sweeps coins in the middle, and there's 31 in my opponent's stack, 31 and a half in my opponent's
Lordy,
stack.
do I wish that was the jack of hearts. That would be so much better.
Oh, incredible.
Because
But it's not.
now obviously all of their jack X of hearts are beating us. That's a real problem. Jack obviously loses 2 combos. That's great. 9-10 is now losing to us. That's great. But anything with the jack of hearts in it, which is a lot of flush draws that they might have and might play it this weird way, I don't know.
He's
now beating
I think
us.
that's questionable. Like,
I think
would you really
it's
raise the
questionable
jack of
with
hearts
anything.
on the turn?
Like the min raise on the turn is questionable with anything. Justify it with any hand.
The best I can do is 9-10. 9-10 is a hand I could see. Jack, it feels like why? I guess the min raise is small enough, but you just don't need to do it, right? With if you have you're in position with jacks.
Now
right?
we're
You're
down to
still gonna
one combo. So the bigger question is, would they do it with
Yes.
king jack, queen jack, ace jack of hearts?
Right. My inclination is no. For the most part, obviously some players would, but I feel like population is afraid in these spots that I have it because I can have a 7 so easily, and in fact I do, right? So why would they raise with top pair? They'd be so happy to hit top pair, I would think. But so my inclination was they don't really have a jack almost ever, unless they have
So
jack.
you think they have 8s full and you're going to bluff? Is that what's going to happen? Is that what the deal is?
No, I would never believe that 8's full is going to fold
Yeah, okay.
in a million years. In a billion
Okay.
years, I would never try and bluff 8's full here. People don't really fold full houses, and especially that way, where it's like they have effectively. I mean, it's not the second nuts; it's like the fourth nuts, but like it's effectively the second nuts, right? Like,
Sort of.
like I don't have jacks ever. I guess I can have quad 7s, but not too often. Like
You have
I've-
jack 9, jack 10, jack queen of hearts, ace jack of hearts.
I
You
have
you have
those
all the
things.
jack X of hearts.
I have some of it, yes, but like I just don't think 8's full are going to fold when the
No,
pot
they
is as
might.
big as it is already. So like trying to bluff here seems crazy. I think my hand is value. I don't think it's a bluff if I'm betting.
No, I agree.
Now, how
So
could I
it's-
get called by worse? I can't think of any hand that's worse that's going to call me unless he's super stubborn.
I mean, you have to
Right.
bet really small, especially when he raises the turn. He is going to check back like almost everything on the river that was like a weird free showdown play. You
right.
know, so
If that's what it was. If he has hearts, he may feel like he has to bluff it though, and maybe he thinks that's a good card to bluff.
that's true. I mean, is there a perfect number where we can get called by some hands that would check back and also cause hearts to freak out sometimes?
Like a
if we
super
bet,
small amount.
if we bet like 9,
Yeah, I would
9
say
or
7.
something?
We could bet 7
Yeah.
again, something like
Yeah.
that. He'd give his 31 a chance to like shove. That's interesting. That's interesting. At this point, I was just sitting there like, actually, I was sitting there thinking he had 8's full a lot when he clicked back the turn, that he might have 8's full. And I was like, well, I'm still losing 8's full, but now are 8's full going to bet? I don't know that 8's full are really going to bet anyway. So that's good. Like maybe it goes check sometimes with 8's when I'm beat now. And that's
that's
kinda
true.
great. I get to save all this money instead of, having to lose the last 31. So with that in mind, I did decide to check, thinking
Okay.
I was staring 8's full in the face a reasonable amount of the time. And he or she, because we actually don't know this person's gender.
97% of the poker playing population are male, so I think it's fair.
Okay. Well, anyway, this player does shove 31.6 into 48.33.
Well, I mean, they're repping. If you think they're checking back eights full, they don't have enough Jack X of hearts combos played this way for you to fold. So
I don't know if they're. I don't know what they're. Yeah, I think they're checking back eights full mostly, and it's hard for me to imagine that they'd really raise a single jack on the turn very often. So I'm sitting there like, I don't even know what you have anymore. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, this feels like a bad story. Like, do you just have weird hearts? You're just playing it weird. That's best I can do.
Maybe 5-6 suited.
What'd you say?
Maybe 5-6 suited.
Yeah, maybe 5-6 suited. Right. Whatever it was, I decided, like, once in a while someone has like 9-10 here and just doesn't know what to do, and so they shove.
That would be phenomenal. So yeah, I think calling makes lots of sense. I think
I felt like it was a pretty straightforward call. I just felt like I was sniffing it out, and the guy has ace-9 off with the ace of hearts.
Wow, that's not even the right run out for that. It's like he had a plan on the flop and then he didn't get the right run out. Like if a heart came or something where he does block the straight, but that doesn't matter anymore.
Right. Like, it mattered on the turn.
Yeah.
On the turn, that was like, okay, I got a blocker here, but the river made that invalid.
This is actually something that we talk about a lot on our various stuff that we've made. Something that I bring up a lot is that, like, even if you have a plan early on, you can change the plan. And I think this player had a plan early on, and they just autopiloted the plan, and they should have changed the plan. I
would say the plan, you don't have to change the plan. You just have to have a plan where you're thinking about not just the next street, right? The plan should be, if a bad card comes on the river, i.e. this is one of the worst possible cards, right? Like, you should not be bluffing this card. By the way, you have ace high. You win sometimes. Not very often, but you do win a little.
Yeah, I agree. But what I'm saying is, like, they on the flop were like, oh, if this all lines up perfectly, I will have a great bluffing candidate. And they wanted the hand to go that way. And they made it go that way. But that's not a plan.
That's just a hope. Like, the plan would be if the right card comes, then I can bluff it. Right, and the jack came, and that was okay, but he needed a heart and didn't come, and then the jack paired, and it was a horrible spot again.
Let me rephrase: they had a plan tied to a hope, and the hope didn't come in, but they did the plan anyway. How about that?
That is exactly right. They're like, cards be damned, river be damned, nothing matters. And the truth is, like, I was going to call this off on a brick river too. This guy was basically never going to get this through. Like, I can't really think of a card that was going to come that was going to work for him, because if a 9 comes, like a straightening card comes, I get there, right? If a 9 comes, I have a full house. If a 10 comes, I have a straight. I guess a heart could come and I wouldn't love it, but I think I would feel like obligated to call.
King or queen of hearts, maybe, because then the king's full, queen's full, and the hearts.
Maybe. I think I probably just suck it up and call anyway based on stack to pot. I think I'm just feeling pretty committed to the. Maybe there's a few cards. I would fold. It's tough.
Tired of being tired of being sick. In my head 24/7, how I'm supposed to pay the rent. Missing practice, I don't play. Friday nights we on the bench, trying to come up with a play. If it don't work, then hit a lick. So if knocking at my door, praying ain't tell. I'm studying her word prayer. Baby excel, got away with way too much. Should've got expelled, but the school saw my potential. Smart kid trying